My name is Tim from the hit sensational YouTube channel Cigars Daily and the more sensational show Cigars Daily Live every Monday night. I wanted to start tonight's show by giving you a quick tip, especially for our podcast listeners. If you didn't know, Cigars Daily Live streams as a podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. It was brought to my attention this week by Corey that our intro bumper music is too loud for the podcast listeners. So I've made some minor adjustments this week, and I want to thank Corey for bringing it up to bring you an even better version of Cigars Daily Live, where we will continue to take all of your comments and questions. And so, with no further ado, on with the show.
I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide. Always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, with one big papa of an episode tonight. Gonna be absolutely amazing. If it is your first time joining us here, my name is Tim. I'm the host of this show, and all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive the episode, and tonight we really want to hear them because tonight we're acknowledging a core truth, one of the last foundational principles of American society, and it's this: tricks are for kids, but cigars are for dads. We all know that all of you go through your lives working and fighting to slay that dragon and be that knight in shining armor for your wife, all the while getting kicked and trampled down the stairs by your loving family. And so you should be having a cigar and sitting aside and kicking up your feet and enjoying a couple hours at least once in a while. And so tonight we're going to honor dads, celebrate with some great dad cigars, and chat with all of you. And of course, to help me run this shindig is behind the camera, Billy the Kid, who looks like a farmer with that shirt on, and Terrence, who is dressed as Wile E. Coyote after some dynamite's blown up in his own face and his hair sticks straight back.
My question is right now is if cigars are for dads, this is a weird way for you to break the news to me.
I didn't want you to find out this way, Terrence.
Well, now I'm finding out in front of hundreds of people, so I guess that's fine.
Well, I'm pregnant. So, I'm sorry to tell you this here. You can get a maternity test if you want. Paternity test. What is it? Doesn't matter.
Taking Moripovich.
Yeah, that's right. All right. And of course, sitting third chair is Ryan, destroyer of Liga Privadas and pregnancy tests. All right. Tonight on the show, we're going to take your guys' comments and questions. So we want to get to those. Drop those down below. Anything you want. This is not a paid advertisement for C4. The can just happens to be in such a way that when it's pointed at my mouth, this is how I like it, that logo is showing. They still haven't paid me yet. And this is the only one that has 0 calories, like my cigar. All right. I want to get some comments, Billy, from the fine people watching at home. What are the people saying? What are they doing, Billy?
So there's some good comments we'll have to get
Billy
to
is
tonight.
reading your comments and laughing about them to himself while the show must continue. Can you maybe click on one of those funny comments for us here? There we go. Dion de Salvo. Billy looks like a tour guide on the Animal Kingdom river boat ride. He does. Let's see Billy again.
I
Yeah.
got all the little pockets.
You go to Disneyland, you go to the
Yeah.
jungle, you go to the jungle
Yep,
tour.
Yeah.
Billy's oh my gosh, is it a pocket in your back
No,
shoulder?
it's a gusset. It's
It gives you
Here.
more like rotation of the
Yeah.
arms. Yeah.
and there's airflow, so I don't get all hot
that-
on the
Mm.
riverboat. It gets a little humid out there, guys.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
Is that where your boyfriend puts his hand on your shirt? It's an extra pocket on my shoulder for a back rub. All right. What else is happening in the comments, Billy? Or is anyone else making fun of you? Mark G. Hey, Tim, I usually agree with your tasting notes and have similar likes. You reviewed an Ashton Symmetry years ago and hated it. One of my faves, Bad Batch. Cigars can change. Worth another try. Thanks.
That's the where you need the Greta Thunberg. How dare you?
How dare you? And I hated it. So believe Mark G's come up for a second. So first of all, anybody who's watched this channel for any period of time knows that my reviews are the Game Informer of the cigar world. Okay. And if you're not familiar with Game Informer, if you go to GameStop, they have a magazine. I know this because I was unbelievably successful at getting people to subscribe to it when I worked at GameStop when I was in high school and college. And all of the games in Game Informer magazine get good ratings because it's GameStop's magazine. And what they do is they're a video game store, right? So anytime they talk about a video game, they're just like, oh, this game, well, it's the best game that's ever come out. And then they'll always pick like one Super Nintendo game and just take a giant diarrhea crap all over it, right?
Yeah.
And this is basically Game Informer. It's like Game Informer's running joke. And at Cigars Daily, certainly I give cigars, generally speaking, good ratings. So when you say that I hated the cigar, I can't think of a cigar that I reviewed that I've been like, I hated this. And maybe I hated on it in a way, I don't know. Certainly worth going back and giving another look to. And I would be happy to do so because there's nothing that I'd rather do than smoke an Ashton just by being prompted to do so. But that being said, I like my reviews are generally speaking positive. The question my reviews answer are always like, what type of cigar lover is this cigar for? Is it for the beginner or for the guy who's got the more developed palate? Is it a good pairing cigar? Does it work really well for someone developing their palate, try different stuff? So I have to go back and watch that symmetry. If I've got a random review that's out there, it's just like, this is horse piss. I hate this damn cigar. I would love to watch that review because I've done enough of these now that I don't know if I remember enough. Maybe I did. Maybe I just took a dump on one.
But do you like
Could
it?
you see
Do
me doing
remember
that?
liking it? Yeah, I can see it.
I don't dislike the Ashton symmetry. I know that. I know that now. And maybe it was just a bad batch. Maybe I lit it up and was like, you know what?
There's something wrong with this one.
Yeah, something's really bad.
It tastes like couch upholstery.
I'd rather be vaping right now. All right, let's take some more comments. Next one right here is coming from Luke Martineau.
Oh.
All right, chicken boy. Oh, Billy is popular tonight. Farmer Billy Boy Chicken. You better see this one. Timmy. Oh, the question's for me.
It's for you. See,
I
you're
like
giving me a hard time, and it's for you this whole time.
So he just got your attention now.
He got my attention.
Okay.
Timmy, do you have any updates on your new Unkillable? They're supposed to ship me samples with my next American Viking shipment. And so this is guys, I'm just going to soapbox just for about 140-second window. And then we're going to move the hell on. Okay. I see a comment here that is in all caps, Billy. That means it's really important. So make sure
they're yelling.
Make sure we get that one so I can
So
shout
make
it.
sure you read it like they're yelling.
Smash the like button, y'all, from your the projects that involve anything other than just ordering cigars that are already made in a warehouse somewhere in Miami, they make me want to cry. I have one daily edition project right now that is stalled. Here's where it is. Packaging, done. Blend, done. Cigars rolled, done. Cigars rested, done. Everything is there. But the company that makes the cigar has to create a corporate BS file in their computer. That needs to be done. And that's it. And I've been waiting on that for 2 weeks. And I've been like the thorn in their side, like emailing every day, like, what's up? What's up with this? What are we doing? What's the next step? Let's move forward. I got money burning a hole in my pocket. I want to get these cigars. And it's literally like, yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. It is just the slow poke process ever. So I might be a little bit like jumping the gun when I'm like, hey, here's a new cigar I got a really great idea for. To give you an idea, the next daily edition project that's coming out is with Oscar Valderez. It's called The Earth by Oscar. Not dissimilar to the idea of the Leaf by Oscar, but it's a different blend and a different line entirely that is a daily edition project just for the Cigars Daily Nation. That cigar was supposed to be here
Last month.
Yeah, 7 weeks ago. So
Pretty much on time.
Pretty much
Yeah.
we're running like exactly on time. And now I call every day. I call.
Did you
and they're
order
like,
it on Wish?
Yeah, I ordered it on. I ordered it on Temu. So we'll see when that comes in. All right, I want to get some more comments from the people. So yeah, I want to get the Unkillable. Literally for the Unkillable, packaging's done. We just got to select the blend, get the cigars rolled and rested in here. So sometime before 2030. All right. Let's go ahead and get some more comments there, Billy. What are the fine people saying down below? This one's from Homestar Runner. Question: how many cigars are the CD crew allowed to have a day for free? Well, I'm so glad that you brought this up, Homestar Runner, because I want to have a conversation in this room that I've been thinking about for a while.
Do I need to leave? Is it
No, you don't need to leave, Billy. You're a part of this now. You're a part of this now.
Oh man.
My policy, okay, is one cigar per, what did I say? One cigar per shift, like for a 4-hour shift. So if you're working 8 hours in a day, 10 hours in a day, then you can smoke 2 cigars. And I feel like that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cigars do you guys actually smoke?
Yes.
I that's kind of what I thought. That's what
I'm at 2 to 3.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Terrence, I know you also have your own cigars
Yes.
that you bring. So I can't it's like if I even wanted to try to figure out with you, it's like playing whack-a-mole. Like I walk into the office and you're smoking something and it's something we carry, but then I'm like, I don't know. Terrence has at his home humidor. He has stuff that's in the humidor here all the time.
Yeah.
So I can't ever tell.
It is a good
Is this a free smoke environment for you? Are you smoking the inventory?
Not necessarily, no. I would say it's about 50% of the time I'm smoking my own cigars that I've either got somewhere else or I was able to acquire from here. But other than that, it's about 50-50. If I don't feel like walking around being confused, I'll just go into my travel humidor and snag
AZ
something.
Born Texas Living says frickin' Terrence.
When he goes to find cigars somewhere. it's
Yeah.
Terrence.
I'll say that everybody here knows that I smoke 5, 6, 7 cigars a day without breaking a sweat. Now, I do make a concerted effort to go and do this from my office and not go as much into the humidor, because now that we've started a inventory cycle here, so every so often we go in and take inventory. And when I say we take inventory, I mean Terrence and Ryan and I count every cigar in the building. And we're doing this on a recurring basis now, which shouldn't be a new thing based on what we do here. But it is. It is. Like you'd be shocked right out of your pantaloons if you knew how many decent sized cigar companies in America don't have any inventory system at all. Like it would really, you'd be like, oh wow. You'd be 5-finger discounting yourself at the cigar shop a lot more. I'll just say that. But we started counting everything, and I'm going through and I'm counting cigars on the shelf where what happens is Ryan and I go count and we write down our counts and then we tell them to Terrence and he makes sure the computer's right. And I'll literally go and find a count that's off by 5. And I know I've smoked 5 of that cigar.
You're like, oh, that's
Diesel
what I like.
Maduro vintage series.
Yeah.
Inventory says we should have 200. There's 20.
There's 20
Yeah,
in
no,
here.
my
I'm like,
gosh.
I don't
There's
know.
been times where I've had to call somebody and be like, hey, I think Tim smoked this.
That happened today with a cigar, but it wasn't my fault.
Have you had any Pascales recently?
How recent?
I don't have none.
Since the last time we got
Since
him.
inventory?
Since,
How many are you short?
Exactly 1.
Yeah.
Son of
Yeah.
oh my
But to be fair, every time I go into your office and I'm like, Terrence, what should I smoke today? You say a Pascale.
It's usually something foundation, but don't worry. I'll grab a Pascale from
So
home
what he
first.
needs you to do, Terrence, is make sure you check inventory on items before any suggestions going forward.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
then
go.
make sure you
I'm
just
gonna
take it
I
walk
was
out.
going to
in.
say Rico Barado from now on.
I'm gonna walk in one day and there's gonna be a fingerprint scanner on the humidor that doesn't work to my fingerprint. Like
Son
I
of
can't.
a-
Oh no! I've been no.
All right, sir, you don't have clearance.
I don't have clearance to go in the humidor.
Julie Floor brings up a very valid point.
Yeah, I want to hear Julie. Hi, Julie. I am John. Hey, CEO Billy, I have a tax question for you. Can you write off cigars that the staff smokes?
I'll defer to you.
Oh,
Good
thank
idea.
you.
Good idea.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I would assume that you could do that. Like, but I don't know.
It's like that one
You don't
story.
currently do it.
I don't do it now. What are you saying, Terrence?
It's like that one story of the guy who put an insurance claim on a box of cigars, and then over time, a couple series of arsons, and his cigars started disappearing, so he would get money back for them. You could probably do something like that.
No,
even though
this,
that's
the
an old-
famous story is, and this happened. My mother read about this and actually called me because she got a kick out of it. This guy gets an insurance policy on his cigar collection. Then he proceeds to smoke all of them and files an insurance claim for the value of the cigar collection, saying that they were all burned up in a series of fires.
Yep, I've heard this story.
Well, the insurance company, of course, took him to court on this. And based on the agreement in the insurance policy, he was awarded the settlement on his insurance claim because they really were all burned up in a fire.
But then,
And this is the and cigar smokers love to tell this story like, oh yeah, you just screw the insurance company and he's
Right.
pretty good, smart guy, huh?
then reality kicks in.
And that is half the story. The other half of the story is that the insurance company then sued him for arson and they won. So he now has a felony arson charge on his record as well. So this game of cat and mouse we play with the insurance company, we never
This is
win.
actually discussed in trainings at insurance companies.
Really?
Hmm.
Because of that. I'm in insurance and I've seen it multiple times in like training scenarios.
Wow. So
Yeah.
but what's the takeaway? What's the lesson they teach
That
you?
people are sketch and that they'll try and like win it over, but
Because
doesn't
in
work.
like that case, there was another case of a guy who signed a credit card, and I'm going to misquote the hell out of this, but the basic gist of it, it was he got a credit card application and he went into his computer and edited the application to change the terms to basically say that he was getting, no interest and never had to pay and basically had no limit. Like he made it way advantageous for him. And then he filled it out, signed it in, and they put it through their underwriting and it went through. And he basically had this unlimited credit card that he never had to pay back.
That's awesome.
And the credit card company went after him, but they signed their own thing that he edited. So it was like, it's kind of the way that credit card companies get you. You sign an agreement, they get you, he got them. So he's a hero to the people.
They're like,
but-
wait, you can't do that back to us.
yeah, they probably sued him for arson too. All right, Leroy says Brad Paisley wrote a song about that story called "The Cigar Song."
I just looked up the lyrics and it tells the entire story.
Could you sing them for us?
Your
Please
best
do.
Brad
Just
Paisley
give us the
impression.
highlights. Give us the chorus. I think.
Well, I'm a sucker for fine Cuban cigars. The problem is I can't afford them. But last year I went and got myself a whole box, and just to be safe, I insured them.
This song sounds like just a blog post. It just sounds like a post on Facebook. It doesn't sound very sing-songy, but go on.
I
Continue.
took out a policy against the fire and theft, and then I hurried home. When with a 50-cent lighter, I sat on my back steps and I smoked them one by one. 2 weeks later, I went to see the insurance man and hand him in my claim. With a straight face, I told him that though through a series of small flames, they'd all gone up in flames.
Okay. Wow. That is
Not probably how the song sounds at all.
that is the song. That is, as many songs are, a song written about a crime. And it's sad. It went the wrong way, in my opinion. All right. Let's keep cruising. John Weiss says, what's in the box? Tonight, everybody in the studio is smoking the same cigar because tonight's big topic of the show is Tricks are for kids and cigars are for dads. That was not the one I had in mind, but good job. There, here we go. It's the time of year is coming up. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Father's Day is right around the corner. That's the one that people actually get cigars for, because mostly dads smoke more than moms do.
Mhm.
And every year Punch does this limited edition cigar for Father's Day, and thank God they do it. It's always very cool and kitschy and nifty. Last year was Dad Bod,
Mhm.
and they did like a short Perfecto, and it had a band on it that looked like a tie. It was very cute. It was
Yeah.
a very cute cigar.
Came in a beer can, I think.
Came in like a beer can.
Pack of four or something.
This year they did, and I never know when they pitch these things to me, and they're like, "Yeah, here's our idea for this year's thing." I'm like, "Okay," but then it always like lands better than it sounds. So Punch Dad's Home Movies. Now Terrence would be the time to show that okay, there we go. Punch Dad's Home Movies. It is a box. There is a 10 count box and there's a 20 count sort of quad set here that comes with what looks like a VHS tape. And I can hold this over here so you can see it. You can keep that up, Terrence. So it looks like a VHS tape inside the box, which is the actual box of cigars. Because if you open that up, it's got the Punch cigars inside. It's one of the coolest, this is
One of
not
the best
kitschy at all.
boxes.
Yeah.
And the box actually looks like what the tape used to come in. And so it does look like a home movie, and it is an ode to dads, old dads who are now defunct, the only people on this planet who still own VHS tapes. There are probably some street vendors in India who still sell VHS tapes on the side of the road. I wouldn't be surprised to find that. So street vendors in India and dads.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have VHS tapes? I'm looking at you because you're the old one. We just established that last week.
No,
on the
we
show.
discussed this. We got everything transferred over to at least DVDs now.
You did. You transferred it
Yes,
over to
so I was-
DVDs.
honestly, because I wanted to get rid of my DVD/VHS player combo.
You had the combo.
Yeah.
Of course you had the combo.
Well, there you go. Punch, dads, home movies. The cigar itself, as you guys know, Ecuador Habano wrapper over Nicaraguan binders and fillers made in Honduras.
Mhm.
2-country blend that's made in a 6x50 Toro soft box press. So if you don't like box press cigars a lot, I don't think this one will turn you off. It's
I'm
and
not
like
a big box press guy,
you're not.
and I can't even notice when
Yeah.
it's
It doesn't bother you. It's very, very soft box pressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Hey,
is
show them the back of the sleeve, because I think this is the coolest part, because it has your pairings, what you should pair it with, and then it has the built of it.
okay. So, yep, right here on the back, this is all blending information. It says location Honduras, Ecuador Habano, Nicaraguan binder and filler, and pairings are light beer, popcorn, do not recommend, and ranch dip. What the hell?
Do you have to pair it with all three? So it has to be beer and then ranch dip. with
If you're
popcorn?
eating those 3 things in one sitting, also go on Costco and buy a coffin. Just get it all in one trip to the store, because these 3 things are pretty much a quick recipe for a heart attack. All right. Let's keep getting some more comments from the fine viewers at home. What does it say on the? It's got the tape labels on it. I love this. Graduation/wedding.
yeah,
Put both of those
I
things
hope
on the
you
same
record
tape. I
one
guess.
over the other.
Why does the graduation first though and the wedding second? See,
Maybe
Maybe
it's their own graduation.
then it says bachelor party and that's crossed out.
Right.
He
we,
digitized that one.
We recorded over that.
And then it says beer league finals.
No. Wait, who records the bachelor party?
Who the hell records their beer league?
That's a bad friend.
Yeah, that is a bad friend. The whole idea of a bachelor party is that at the end of it, there's no proof you had it.
Joe in the corner with his cell phone. What are you doing, Joe? Put that
Joe's
shit
sitting in the
down.
corner with his camera. He's like, keep going, guys. I'm getting all of this. My uncle, Mr. Epstein, told me what to do.
Oh,
All
wow.
right, let's keep cruising.
Next comment, Billy.
Colin Keelan says, are you supposed to a buzz from
He
cigars?
wrote in after it with a little get asterisk.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Are you supposed to get a buzz from cigars? This is a room filled with professional cigar smokers. So let's ask the professionals around the room, starting with Ryan. Do you get a buzz when you smoke a
I'm
cigar?
assuming he's talking about the nicotine buzz. So if you're not a regular smoker, which means less than one every 2 days, I would say, then yeah, you're going to feel that nicotine when you smoke one.
Sure. Terrence?
What's the question again? Are you supposed to, or do you?
get a nicotine buzz from cigars?
Not necessarily, not anymore. I mean, with the amount that I've smoked in the last couple years, I don't necessarily feel it unless it's absolutely a ridiculous. Like,
But
triple
if you were to
Maduro.
stop for a couple days and then have one again, do you think you'd feel it?
Dude,
Oh,
look
yeah,
how much
most
more
definitely.
debonair
Yeah.
you look now that I focused your
What did you
camera.
do? Show me
Yeah.
back. Oh, look at that.
Look at that. You look at the
Ooh.
Superman twirl going
Until
on
I
your
got my
hair.
haircut.
That's hot.
we
dude.
still only see one ear at a time.
Well, that's
All right.
glued to my
Billy, you smoke less than everybody here.
Technically, I'm not even a
Technically,
tobacco
for
user.
insurance purposes, you're not even a
And-
smoker.
I'm not. And really and truly, I go, there's weeks where I only smoke when I come to the show.
Right.
Mhm.
And I don't get a buzz anymore.
Okay.
really.
Are you able to tell people? So we've said this several times that you're not a cigar smoker for insurance purposes. I feel like that's highly valuable information for people to
Oh.
know. Are you willing to? Can you share
Just
that?
go, whoever your insurer is, go look at, if you search tobacco, it will say what you-
Specifically, if you're getting life insurance, and it asks you if you are a smoker, you have to know what their definition of what a
Yeah,
of
so
a
I
smoker.
went and looked at what their definition of a smoker is, and the company that I'm have it with says you have to use 4 tobacco products each week to be considered a smoker.
So if you're smoking 1 to 2 cigars a week,
Not
according to them, that life
according to
insurance,
them,
but you're not a smoker.
That's not a smoker.
Mm.
So being savvy matters, and this is their loopholes. Okay, the rich tax loopholes. It's like that, but for regular people. So when you get your life insurance policy, look it up. Save yourself a little bit of money on those monthly payments. All right. I want to get some more
Can you
comments.
say you're not a cigar smoker when they come in and do
No. When I did my life insurance policy, they had the medical examiner come to my place of business
No.
to do my medical exam. So the lady's in there and she snaps on her gloves and she's taking blood vials. She's like, "Are you a smoker?" And I'm smoking a cigar as she's doing this. And I was like, "Would you believe me if I said no?" So no, on mine, I'm pretty much marked with the black spot.
Did she make you turn your head and cough when this exam happened?
No, that was extra, and I didn't want to pay the extra.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep getting some comments here, and we'll cruise on with this episode. Let's get out of that uncomfortable space. You guys can learn more, by the way, about Punch Dad's Home Movies on the community on Cigars Daily Plus, where we're going to be going in a little bit for the after party. Grim, do you remember bad cigars more than good cigars? Just like comments on the internet. So funny thing about comments on the internet, I love this show because I like taking comments on the internet. Like Grim is one of our like regular dudes. He's on the show a lot. And we like taking his comments. Bad comments, do not bother me. So no, I don't remember the bad. I remember like one or two altercations I've had with people online, which is a different story for a different time. But in my opinion, and this is quite frankly something Patrick Legreed from Half Wheel told me one time. We were smoking. He visited Cigars Daily, and we were smoking, and he said it this way, and this is, I think, just a truism. I don't think he came up with this, but for the most part, of all the cigars you will ever smoke, there are like three categories. There are, for the most part, most cigars you smoke are more or less good. You enjoyed them. Maybe you enjoyed them a little more because of who you were with, or you enjoyed them a little less because of what you just ate, but they're generally speaking good cigars that you would or wouldn't have again for one reason or another. And that's the bulk of cigars that you'll have, right? That's probably about 80% of cigars. And then there are like these slivers on the end of the spectrum. There's about 10% of cigars that are so bad, so reprehensibly bad. They hit your palate in a certain way that just makes you want to barf, that you will never forget them. And then on the other side, 10% of cigars about that are so good. I call them the like aha cigars. They give you something you've never had before. You take that magical draw, you get the flavor note. It's just like awesome. And then you're chasing the dragon to get that experience again. To about 10% of cigars are that freaking good. And so for me, I am in the very, very blessed and privileged position that if a cigar is that bad, I don't ever have to think about it again. I'll light up the cigar, and I've had them. I'll light up. I really want to give every cigar the benefit of the doubt and smoke at least an inch or 2 inches of it to really see what it has to offer. But if it's that bad after half an inch, it just tastes like gutter trash, floor sweepings, swept up into a cotton sock or something like that. I'll put it down and be like, that is trash. And then I'll literally, and sometimes I'll call the cigar maker that sent me a sample, because that's usually what it is. It's samples. Someone's like, hey, check out Don Generic cigars. I don't want to call anyone's real brand out, but they're always Don something.
Yep.
And Don Nobody cigars. And they'll email 10 times in being like, did Tim smoke the cigars? And eventually I got to call the guy and be like, you should not try to get people to smoke these cigars. They are not good.
Is that why I always end up with your sample?
Yeah, sometimes the samples end up back on Terrence. There'll be just like a half a dozen cigars sitting on my desk, and I'm like, here you go, Terrence.
And I'm like, yay. And then I'll smoke them, and I'm like, oh, all of these end up in the 80% range. Okay.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, I do also give Terrence and Ryan good cigars. I don't just give them trash that I don't like. I usually try to distribute, share the wealth, as it were. All right. Mature black man. 60% of cigars are meh, 20% are crack, and 10% are dookie. So he's dialing it in here, which, by the way, does not add up to 100%. I just want to put that out there. That's 90%. So 10% of cigars are the mythical unicorns, I guess. All right, Billy. I want to keep those good comments rolling. We got a pick of the week we're going to dive into in a minute. We got some headlines we want to get to as well. Also, just so you guys know, The Punch Dad home movie that we are all jamming on right now, this outstanding cigar, Ecuador Habano wrapper with Nicaraguan binders and fillers. You can learn more about it on the community on Cigars Daily Plus, where we still have, because I got lots of them this time, more information about the Billy Chicky Sticky and the Pineapple Sticky are both available. Limited edition Cigars Daily Hex stickers that you can put with your other collection of Cigars Daily stickers. So there you have it. That's all the details. All right, Billy, what are people saying? What are they asking? What's going on? Ben Strongy, shout out to Terrence for hooking me up with a signed sticker. Question though, having never experienced the Boxer Grail, is it worth jumping in with a box of the Mizunara straight away? And that right there is the question of the ages. So a cigar maker, in this case, we'll use Diesel as an example because it's been brought up. Diesel comes out with a limited edition cigar, which has an insanely long name. The Diesel Whiskey Row Founders Collection Boxer Grail.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel Whiskey Row is a core line cigar. Founders Collection is the limited edition trilogy they're probably going to make because Justin Andrews does all these ridiculous trilogies now. And then the Boxer Grail, which is named after Rabbit Hole's Boxer Grail. And the cigar was, as Terrence would say,
Are you going to make me say fire?
fire. That's what it was. It was fire. And then they come out with the Mizunara. So the question is, if that second one comes out, do you jump on the box without knowing if it's going to be as good? The only thing you can really do is go to your favorite live episode of a cigar show on YouTube and ask that exact question to get that answer. That's the only way to know. And so I'm going to defer to Terrence on this one, even though I love the Boxer Grail and know what I think of Mizunara. Terrence, in your opinion, your honest opinion, as someone who smokes an unspecified number of Cigars Daily cigars every day, what do you think of Mizunara compared to Boxer Grail?
So I think I talked about this on the after party last week, but they're different, but they're still really good and punchy cigars. I think the Mizunara brings the body down just a little bit. Off the strength of one, I still got a box. And just because it's still a wonderful cigar, it is a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more bright, not as muddy or deep of flavors as the Boxer Grail, but I really wholeheartedly enjoy it. And I probably smoked about half that box already. And I've probably had it for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So yeah, no, personally, I sprung on the box just off the strength of one, and I've loved every one ever since then. But your viewer discretion is advised.
So I'll say this. To me, the difference between Mizunara and Boxer Grail is not dissimilar to the difference between Liga Privada number 9 and T52, or Dunbarton's Mi Querida and the Tricky Traca, or the Tabernacle and Havana Seed 142. Like, all of those are lines of cigars where you've got two different blends that are both really dark and powerful, and one is a little bit smoother, maybe chocolatey, and the other one is a little bit more peppery and spicy.
Yeah.
To me, the Mizunara did present, like you said, a little bit brighter of a flavor, lets off on the body a little bit, but also carries a little bit more, for me, a kick of that like spice in the back of the throat, because the Boxer Grail is full on dark, not entirely chocolate, but just, like you said, dark flavor notes, muggy, thick flavor throughout the whole profile. Really, really good stuff. All right. I want to get one more comment, but then we're going to jump into the pick of the week.
We got
So
two
let's
more
see.
for you.
All right, two more. We'll take two more. I got time for two. John Corliss. For everyone, including CEO Billy, what is everyone's opinion of the Dad's Home movie? We're all smoking it right now. We're all into the first third. I'm probably smoking slower than just about anyone here. Flavor notes, what are you guys getting? Take me through it. I'm not going to pick on anyone specific. I just trust one of you to start talking. It is a show on the internet.
I'll start off because the second comment is related to me. But I will say I'm actually picking flavor notes out of this, Terrence.
Let me know what you're getting.
Flavor notes
I
for
know.
Billy.
What is
Flavor
this?
notes. I just know I liked it.
There's sweetness on it.
Yes.
And a little bit of caramel.
Yep.
Caramel with like a caramel cookie.
Okay. I do get that breadiness. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm picking out of it. But someone asked me, Billy, you having trouble over there? You having to keep touching up the stogie? No, I just have OCD and like my
Burns
my
it.
ash
It wasn't
to
a
be
perfect burn.
But I literally thought about starting a company that makes butane because I could make that money off Billy alone, because all he does is just sit and touch up the cigars. if the burn is even thinking about not being
It's
perfect,
starting to think. I'm like,
Billy's all over. He's just like, you
He busts out with measuring tape. It's 2 millimeters off on the backside.
Such it up.
This thing up.
No, I'll say this has actually had a pretty very even burn.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. We got lots more to do tonight, guys. And around the studio, I'd say that what Billy's getting, at least for me, stays pretty true to it. What I get on the tip of the tongue is a little bit of roasted almonds on the front of that flavor. That evens out really quickly into the sweetness they're talking about. Caramel, pretty easily accessible in this flavor. And like you said, almost a breadiness to this is very, very nice across the palate. And somehow, I don't know what Punch does. This cigar is like something like $7 or $7.50, I think. And so a limited edition cigar, cool idea, but a good blend, especially for the price. And they've done that every year, not just with their limited edition Father's Day cigars, but with their Chinese Zodiac cigars, like Year of the Chicken and all that stuff. It like always comes out really good. Is there a Year of the Chicken, Billy?
I think it's not a roost or it's not a chicken. It's the
Rooster.
Is it the dragon? No, there is a year. Oh, Year of the Rooster. Year of the Rooster. When is the next one? 2029.
It's gonna be my year.
Year of the Cock. All right, let's let's dive into a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. Now, Father's Day is right around the corner. So this one is specifically for the dads and husbands out there. Or I guess if you've just been in a long-term committed relationship, you can be able to associate with this. We're all smoking the Punch Dad's Home Movies, which if your dad had home movies, God bless him. Because he, like all dads out there, has this lived experience of this member of the Cigars Daily Nation. Take a look right here. This week's pick of the week comes from Chris S. He says, taking a smoke break with the Last Call Maduro genitals. Huge apology to AJ Fernandez for putting that video out, because now I've seen like 6 people online refer to it as the genitals. And I'm pretty sure that's making its way right back to AJ Fernandez's ears.
Who started this rumor?
They're going to be talking to me like, se llama la genitales. And he's going to be like, what? I don't know why he's
Japanese.
I don't know why he's Japanese.
What did he become
Oh,
a samurai?
what? Oh no, it's wrong. AJ, I had no idea. He's like a sumo wrestler all of a sudden. Sí, señor, los genitales. Oh no, crushed him. He says, taking a smoke break with the Last Call Maduro genitals. Can't wait to finish the fence. So in the picture, the pick of the week here, he's got his grass yard, and he's very obviously about what appears to be about 70% of the way done with the fence. He says, can't wait to finish the fence, throw up the gazebo, which makes it sound a lot easier than it is, and finally end the nagging due to the garage smelling like cigars. Outdoor smoke spot, here I come.
Nice.
Now, if anything has ever motivated a man to do anything, it shouldn't be nagging. But how much of the time is it actually just the nagging?
90%.
90% of the time, it's the nagging that gets the job done. And maybe that's human nature. I don't know. Do you guys get nagged into stuff?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
What was the last thing you got nagged into doing?
New flooring.
New flooring in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much of the house?
Pretty much everything but the bedrooms
Okay. All right.
and the bathroom. So yeah, like 80, 70% of it.
Billy, do you get nagged into doing stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Billy's wife, who is probably watching right now,
He's looking for
No,
comment.
she's not.
she's not.
Okay.
So it's free. You can. say
She
whatever you want.
Mexican, bro.
She is Mexican.
That's some like world class nagging, man,
Yeah.
because it comes in 2 languages. What is the last thing you got nagged doing?
We did flooring, baseboards. I had to tear
Ooh.
down the galley kitchen and make it an
Oh my
open
gosh.
kitchen. She gets after it.
Yeah.
Goodness,
Yeah.
goodness.
Did the conversation start as, you know what we should do?
It did start
Yeah,
out. as,
you know what you should
Ooh,
do.
It's a
I
what we
hate
should do, but it's
we.
never a we.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll go to the store with you. and
Yeah,
buy
that
it.
is how the nagging starts. How come we haven't done those baseboards yet?
We're not French. You just want me to do it.
But the wrench is on. She says, I mean, why don't y'all just listen without being nagged? Because the Bible doesn't say we have to listen to you. No.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. No, I went biblical fast with that one. That is my own wife on here, the true wrench. And I think that it's because I need you guys' help.
We don't want to do it.
Yeah, there you go. We don't want to do it. We want
If
to
it's
play
something we want to do, boy, we do it. We'll spend the whole damn weekend doing it.
That's right. If it's and you know what? If you're stinking up the garage, you're making all the camping stuff smell bad, and your wife's car starts to smell. I get it. You build the outdoor gazebo, and boom, you're good to go. I'll say this: the wrench, my wife, legitimately doesn't really nag. I can't think of anything that she's really nagged me about. I'm like literally going through my mind here.
I got one thing I get nagged
She
at.
just mentioned stuff. Like she just mentions like, the house is really dirty on the floor. The dogs are really tracking dirt in here because all our grass is dead. Like stuff like that. She'll just like say stuff like that.
It
It's
makes
not,
it your idea.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, then I better go buy turf for the backyard. All right. Let's go. Thanks, love. You're welcome, love. I love you very much. All right. I want to get some more comments from the fine people. Anyone get nagged in here? I saw mature black men, but I can't find it now. Oh, here he is. I can only take this because it's from him. I'm the nagger in my relationship.
Man, I don't put hey.
Hey.
I will speak
There's
for
a,
you.
there's a South Park meme in there.
You don't want to type that word on the internet, my man. I'm sorry, but you're black man.
No, he's mature, and we're going to go ahead and take it. We're going to accept that. And if
There we
you
go.
are that in your relationship, God bless you. You're doing the Lord's work. Okay.
How do I do that? How do I complain more?
We don't get to complain.
Okay.
That's what they don't tell you about relationships. Guys don't get to complain. What you get to do is hide cigar purchases in your finances in creative ways, which I don't have to do because it's my job to buy cigars. But I have learned from people in the Cigars Daily Nation 1,001 creative ways to hide cigar purchasing in the budget from the wife. Like some of you guys are really quite skilled at this.
You have given me the greatest opportunity to hide cigar purchases. And I'm like, babe, a sales rep came in and he gave me 3 boxes. I
that's what it is.
No, right?
That's right. All right. Your Tudor says, I'm blessed too. Wife that is not a nagger. It's going to be super, super good.
There's a lot of comments I would love to pull, but they are not
not YouTube friendly. Oh, yeah, I see him. Oh, my gosh. Eric Metzger. Are you single, bro? All right, we're not going to put that one up. Let's keep cruising.
Oh, my gosh.
Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. And if you are, like, just by the way, if you're literally sitting in the proximity of an uncompleted project right now at your home, and your wife is within earshot, I'm sorry for bringing that on, but you are going to get nagged later tonight.
You're going to be busy this weekend.
There's literally guys watching this show who are propping their feet up on an unfinished thing that their wives are waiting for. It was supposed to be the Mother's Day present yesterday. It'll be ready maybe by next Mother's Day. All right, let's keep cruising. I'm going to take one, Billy. Is that okay?
Take it.
All right. Liam Lifts. Most memorable cigar moment. One of the most memorable cigar moment of your guys' lives, if you can call it up. Just the one to the best of your recollection, starting with Ryan now.
When I first smoked the Dunbarton Meat Lovers.
Yeah.
And I
Why
got to
was
share
that? What was the memorable about that?
because I shared the moment with my son and he was excited for me. And my
That's
kids really
cool.
don't get excited for me very often.
Yeah.
Like I can see the excitement for me in his
Right.
face. And I was like, oh, that's sweet.
That's great. All right. Red meat lovers really made an impression on you.
Porterhouse specifically, yeah.
All right. Terrence, most memorable cigar smoking moment for you?
It was about, oh goodness, going on about maybe 4 years ago now. And I had a Davidoff Winston Churchill late hour in Churchill. And I was able to smoke that with my father. He had an Opus X with me when we were in Vegas. And can't tell you any flavor notes, completely plastered the entire trip. But the fact that I got to smoke a cigar with my father made the whole trip. Like I lost maybe $2 the entire time I was out there, barely gambled. We just got free drinks the entire time. And the fact that I was able to have my first cigar with my father just completely.
I love
made it the
that, dude.
best.
That is like when I think about memorable cigar moments, it's stuff like that. Like the cigar with somebody that's very special. And even though my dad doesn't watch the show, I'm the only person in my family that smokes cigars. And so I don't get to have cigars with my dad, with anyone I'm related to, which is probably the saddest part of my life, Dad. If anyone was to snip this out and just send it over to you, if you had a cigar with me, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, Billy, what about you?
Mine would be my first cigar.
Okay.
Mm.
because it was summer of 2009. I just
Okay.
turned 18
Wonderful.
when 18 was the smoking age.
Yep.
YouTube. And it was on the back balcony of an apartment of my buddies, and we were watching
This is not a good memory.
Deadliest Warrior.
Ooh,
remember
this
that
is a
show?
great memory.
That's a
I'm
great
in.
show.
And he moved his TV out for my first cigar smoking experience, and we were watching the show, and it was a
Was it
Gloria.
La Gloria Cubana, Serie R.
Yep. And I smoked that. I'm like, I'm going to be a man and smoke this, and then proceeded to projectile vomit off of his balcony.
Second
Oh,
or third
wow.
story.
Second.
Okay, not too bad.
I want to take this. I was making fun of Eric Metzger for his comment that we didn't put up, and it was a great comment. He said, married 19 years in a few weeks. Congratulations.
Congrats.
That is the guy, by the way, the comment that we didn't put up is the secret to marriage. All right. Let's keep cruising. So Billy, so here we got Terrence smoked with his dad.
Mhm.
You smoked with your son. Billy threw up off a balcony while watching Deadliest Warrior.
His obviously wins.
His obviously wins. All of my best cigar smoking memories are like times I smoked a cigar that was like, I can't believe this is where I am and what I'm doing. And all of them are basically associated with Cigars Daily. You know, the first cigar after we built Cigars Daily that was like, oh, did that happen? Did that just work?
That just happened.
Or when we got the Cigars Daily HQ3, which is a very special place for Jim and I, and we sat in here and we smoked a couple cigars together. They were Cohiba Spectres, by the way.
Whoa.
We sat in here and smoked those together and broke in the building. The first cigars that we smoked inside this building after we bought it. And smoking a cigar with Guy Fieri at this table, that's
Yeah.
man, that's like a great moment. You're like, man, this is, cool and fun. And so for me, the best cigar smoking moments are moments of smoking, that really cause me to sit back, stop, reflect on where I am and how far Cigars Daily has come as a community and what we all have built together as an online cigar community. When I say that Cigars Daily is the largest online cigar community, it is. It's like something like across the whole platform, about 450,000 followers. We're at now 275,000 subscribers. That makes us the largest cigar YouTube channel in the world. That is very, very special to me and something that I treasure. So smoking cigars with you guys on Monday nights is definitely always there. Is like one of my favorite parts of the week. All right, let's take another comment here, Billy. You had lots of time to read these. Give me one I can do a voice to. Oh, Jake Hofflinger. Yeah, thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. Please tell me, am I supposed to tip the guy at my local humidors? I mean, I know that I want. Did they offer a good advice, but small talk? But every time I go to pay for the damn tip jar, it's judging me. Yeah. Oh, boy. Here we go. Listen. How do I say this?
Tipping in America.
Tipping in America.
Just the tip.
Thank you, Terrence. Tipping in America has gone way too far.
Way overboard.
And part of the reason for that is that tipping is just built into every point of sale system that you can get now. So there's tipping everywhere. And there are things for which you should tip. And in my this is what I personally do, whether it's right or wrong, is I tip when the service that is given like requires serving. So if I go to a restaurant and someone comes and waits on the table and then they pick up the dishes, I'm tipping there, especially if the server's good, the food is good. That is a time when it makes sense to tip. There are some places I'll walk into where I'll tip. If I order a coffee that requires some making, I'll leave a bit of a tip. But if I order a cup of black coffee and they pour coffee into a cup and slap it on the table in front of me, what am I tipping for? So this is my own personal philosophy. I don't think there's anything that you can or don't need to do about it. I don't think, though, that people should feel like compelled, like they have to tip just because it's there, because it's everywhere now. It's pervasive.
Other than the restaurant industry, because that's really askew and the way they pay their employees is not.
Yeah.
really
It's the restaurant industry.
You
built
So
tip
around
restaurants a
tipping.
different monster, but just everyday tipping
What?
when
Do you tip on to-go orders?
To-go orders? No, not typically. I have done that before, but again, it depends. And it's uncomfortable because the tip thing is always there in front of you, judging you. And you're like, do you want a tip? And it's like, no. And it's like, why?
Are you sure?
Yeah, are you
It
sure?
comes up
Hey,
with
and tell
another
me-
question. Are you sure?
And tell me you don't make sure they see you if you do tip in a dip
That's
jar.
exactly
You're like,
right.
I'm gonna wait till they turn around. Yeah, there it is.
You're like, can I have one of those napkins? You're like, no tip. Thanks for the napkin. I should have tipped you. All right. Less about tipping, more about cigars. Keep dropping your guys' cigar comments and questions down below. We got a few minutes left in this episode, and I do have some headlines I wanted to hit. But your comments are way more interesting to me than articles from the internet. So let's keep taking them. Billy, what are people talking about? There we go. Nick, I know I need to get the thing that measures humidity for my humidor.
It's called a hygrometer. If you need to Google it, sir.
The moisture
This is like-
telling thing.
This is like a carpenter being like, I know I need to get one of those things that pushes nails into wood.
By swinging at a high rate made of metal. Yeah.
And I will get one, I promise. All right. Let me just do it.
Once I figure
I
out
know I
the names,
need
I
to-
can order them.
I need to get that thing that measures humidity for my humidor. I just haven't been able to do so yet. I suspect that my house is pretty dry. Just wondering if that could cause uneven burn.
Uneven and fast.
Whew, that was hilarious. Thank you. Nick, yes, a hygrometer, which is not a hydrometer.
There we go.
A hygrometer with a G is what you need, and I would get one right away. It's a part of the basic set of tools that you should have for any growing cigar collection, because you wouldn't buy a car without a gas gauge in it, unless you're in college. You wouldn't buy an oven if it didn't tell you what temperature it was heating to. Although more than a few of us have grills whose thermometers are broken.
Yeah, they're kind of iffy.
That does happen. But with a grill, you're cooking by the gut feeling of it. So,
Yeah.
But basic measurements are important, and a hygrometer is the most important, most basic measurement for cigar storage that you absolutely need. Temperature is equally as important, but that is given to you by the thermostat in the room that you're in. Your humidor is basically going to be the temperature of your room, unless you have a thermoelectric one. Well, C4 is coming back. So, depending on where you live, the humidity in your house is going to be more or less what the ambient relative humidity of your place is. If you live in North Carolina, it doesn't even register. It's so high. I mean, it's just obscenely sweaty and wet. Florida as well. It's too much humidity. If you live out here in Arizona, humidity can get pretty dang low. And so you want to not only know what your humidity is, but have good control over it. So yes, go get yourself a hygrometer. It will be some of the best money you spend on your cigar collection. Put it in your humidor, and all kinds of stuff can cause weird issues with your cigars. If they're too dry, if they're too wet, if you suddenly change the temperature on them, if you are smoking a cigar somewhere where there's a little bit of wind. And I've done no small amount of testing on this. I will take a cigar that I'm smoking at my desk and I'll go run some errands. So I hop in my truck, and a cigar that's burning perfectly and tastes amazing and is so good that I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm in my truck with the window down. I'll be going 15 miles an hour and I'll notice the burn start to go sideways. So a little bit of wind can do that too if you're smoking outside. So yes, get a hygrometer, measure your humidity. And if you notice that weird things are going on, dry boxing would be the next thing to delve into and dive deep into dry boxing. All right. Smooth draw McGraw. Let's all nag Nick until he gets a hygrometer. Every show for the rest of the season will now be, did Nick get a hygrometer yet? Can someone make a show note for me?
That'll be the new sign off.
Hey, Siri, set a reminder for next Monday at 6:15 p.m. to ask if Nick got a hygrometer yet.
Okay. I've added ask if Nick got a hygrometer yet for next Monday, 6:15 p.m.
Okay, good. It's going to remind me next week during the show.
But the thing is, now you're going to have to reset that again next week.
That's okay. We can do it every show. It's fine.
All right, word.
We can do it every week. Remember, the point is we're nagging him into doing this.
Yeah.
So,
Nick, you know what we should do?
you know what we should do, Nick? We should get you a hygrometer. All right, Billy, get us the next comment here. Frank Herrera. I didn't get to tune into the live to say this last week, but full disclosure, I 100% thought that Billy was the CEO. It's been a joke the past year, but never explained. So I was pretty surprised. Oops. I am sorry for people who legitimately thought that Billy was the CEO and who also feel deceived by that. That was wrong. That was wrong of us. And it was wrong to Billy because I also didn't really explain it to him. So I
just kept waiting for my
he
check.
went to
and
the
just-
bank to withdraw money and he was like, "What do you mean I'm not the CEO? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no." Is Siri always British? John B. That Siri is supposed to be South African. And she doesn't sound South African at all. She just sounds like a British colonizer that went to Africa and colonized the continent for a while and then didn't do a great job.
Sounds like South Africa.
South Africa. I really like the South African accent. It's one of my favorites.
People
All right.
are actually always surprised when they call the HQ when I answer. Like they didn't expect me to work here, but they expected Billy to.
They're like, "Where's Billy?"
Yeah. Like,
Dude, I back in 2003, I had a fling. This is not a joke, as our president says. Not a joke. I had a fling with a South African pop star, but it was in Cambodia, and we were on tour together. We were on a music tour together. We spent 30 days touring the country of Cambodia playing music, and I went on this trip, and I was like, I'm gonna not like try to find a girlfriend on this trip. I'm gonna travel. I'm not gonna get into the girl thing. I'm just gonna focus on my work and on my music. And then I got there and this girl walks in and she's like a 14 out of 10. I mean, she's just like absolutely rocking awesome.
Cambodian 14 or no,
No, Cambodian 25. Okay. Cambodian women are beautiful, but she was just right. And her and I like fell super hard for each other, but she had that South African accent. She was super awesome. She went on to get married to a guy that wasn't me. Thank God. All right. Colin M says, "Tim, you dirty dog." Yeah, I sure am a dirty dog. Wrench earmuffs from Frankie B. Earmuffs. Allison knows about Milani. Oh, Milani. All right. Great White Buffalo. All right. Let's dive into the thing that makes people want to watch things on the internet, religion. Daniel Leslie, Tim, as a Christian, is it wrong to smoke? Your opinion? Yes. If you smoke cigars as a Christian, you got to pray for forgiveness after every puff of the cigar.
Hail Marys.
Hail Marys. Yeah. Cover your head in sackcloth and ashes. And I want weeping and
At
I
least
want
you already
tears.
got the ash.
You don't even need to buy the ash.
Yeah.
You just ash on your own head. No, I don't think that smoking cigars is a sin. I think that and if you go to the Bible, and we're going to go to the after party in just a second, guys. So if you're starting to hop over to Cigars Daily Plus, we're going to continue this episode there. But for people who have got like a spiritual conviction about like what smoking is and what it does, I'll give you my take on it, and then we'll take one or two comments before we go over. So keep posting your cigar comments and questions. When it comes to this topic of like, religious people and smoking, Mormons won't smoke cigars. They don't do nicotine, caffeine, alcohol.
Fun.
At least not when there's two of or more of them.
They can do caffeine now.
They do caffeine now?
Yeah, they're allowed to caffeine now.
It's a slippery slope, I got to tell you. But when it comes to the Christian thing, the thing that people will quote, and when I say people, I mean pastors in the Bible Belt, Southern Baptist pastors, don't drink, smoke, or chew, or go with girls that do type Christians. They'll tell you your body is a temple, and that's part of it. And certainly that applies to your spiritual nature, but not necessarily to your physical nature. And we all do things all the time that are not necessarily the best thing for our bodies. If you eat a meal in the United States of America, you're already dishonoring your God as a body. Basically, eat a meal from anywhere. And so I would say that it's a debate I would love to have with another Christian that was like, this is biblically wrong. I would love to sit down and debate that because I would do it all day long and I would dive deep into theology, but I'm not going to do that on this show. We've already had about 10% of the audience be like, all right, I'm going home. Allison says, Tim, keep it real. The wrench is talking. You have a video about that on the channel about Christian smoking cigars. I do have that. It's not on the channel anymore, but that video is on Cigars Daily Plus. It's been deleted from the YouTube channel here as that kind of thing. That specific video was not tolerated by YouTube. Okay.
Cigar related question.
Yeah. This next question is coming from Louis Nasta. All right. Need a good recommendation for a $4 to $5 daily smoke as I save my better stuff for the weekends. So you're smoking throughout the week. You want a good cigar that you can get for that time that still gives you a good flavor. Doesn't break the bank. $4 to $5. That's even lower, I think, than El Rey del Mundo money at this point, Terrence, isn't it?
If you don't buy the box, yes.
So what you're saying is if you get it by the box, then you are shopping in those prices.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's pretty fair. All right. El Rey del Mundo Shade for the morning is a really good cigar. You should never overlook Chillin' Moose, because Chillin' Moose was a cigar that came out right after I got into the cigar industry from a company called Foundry.
Yep.
Foundry's great. And they've been bought up by STG. But what was just one cigar that basically had a Habano wrapper and was like a long filler blend for $3 or $4 is now this colossal line of cigars. There's Chillin' Moose, the Chillin' Moose 2, which is a Maduro, Chillin' Moose TOO. There's a Chillin' Moose Bull Moose and now a Bull Moose Maduro, which is a Nicaraguan Puro, and the Chillin' Moose Shady Moose. There's this huge line of cigars that all clock in the $4 to $5 range. So no matter what your preference is of like strength and flavor profile, oops, I did that. AF, yeah. Mature Blackman says I've never had a good Chillin' Moose. So I like Chillin' Moose a lot for the price point, and I'd still recommend them.
Yeah,
I think that flavor for $1, it's absolutely there. Punch Knuckle Buster is also around $5, and those are kind of a love it or hate it thing. It's a little bit more basic of a flavor profile and structure, but still a good cigar.
Are
And
these?
yeah.
That's not 4 or 5, is it?
Umbagog is not a $4 or $5 cigar. Umbagog
9 to 10.
Umbagogs are special because they're a Dunbarton cigar that's under $10.
Yeah.
That's what's special about those. All Dunbarton cigars, for the most part, are $12 to $18 a stick.
Yep.
But worth every penny of that, right?
Yeah.
Are they long filler from John? Yeah, Chillin' Moose is all long filler.
Yep.
They're premium blends. Like the Chillin' Moose Shade is like a 5-country blend. It's like, I'm going to get these wrong probably, but the U.S., Mexico, Nicaragua, Honduras, and the Dominican Republic. Tobaccos from all of those different regions in one blend that still lands for around $5. Very good cigar. Okay, here's how this show goes. We've done all the time we're going to do here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X, but we are going to continue the show on the community on Cigars Daily Plus. This is our own platform where we run the show on our own servers, so it can take a little bit of time, some spinning to get in, but when you get in, it's free. It's the best damn cigar content online for free, and even more of it because we put extra content in those videos and all kinds of information about the cigars, just like the one we're smoking tonight. Punch Dad Home Movies, limited edition cigar for Father's Day that come in these awesome VHS tape box that looks like a VHS tape. You probably even put it with all your other VHSs. I'd be willing to guess.
Just don't put it in your VCR.
Yeah, don't put it in your
If you
VCR
still got one of those.
and don't rewind it. And join us.
It does say be kind and rewind.
It does say it right on the inside of the box. But guys, join us over there on Cigars Daily Live for the after party. It's free and easy to create an account. It's like your name, a username, email, and a password, and that's basically it. You're in. Join us over there for more of this great show where we'll be chatting with even fewer rules and without the peering eye of big tech to judge us and say that what we love is taboo. If you're not joining us there, then stay tuned for another great show next Monday night. Thank you all for hanging out. This is Tim and the crew signing off for the main show, and we will see you on the after party, y'all.
And live your lives.